Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Studio Tuesday. This week is all about creative play. You hear artists talk about that all the time, and it's because it truly is critical. It's through play that we find our rhythm, our style, our happy accidents, and it sounds really easy, but for some reason, a lot of us artists need to actually practice play. It's hard to do sometimes. So I taped off these papers to be about 8 inches square. I like to have square pieces that's just aesthetically pleasing. And today I'm just kind of getting back into the flow of things. Usually after I finish a series or even just finish like one big painting, sometimes there's a little lull within me where I step away from it for a few days or even a week, and kind of getting back into painting, I can be kind of stifled a little bit. I have a lot of things going on like we all do, and so I'll get out of that rhythm and that practice, or I won't really know what I'm going to paint next, and it doesn't really matter, but sometimes it's just nice to just paint on paper and not think about it, and it helps get me back into the flow so that when I do take my creativity to the canvas, I'm more warmed up just energetically over the course of a few days of doing practices like this. So I want to share with you a little bit about my setup for things like this, because even though this is just pure play and it really is no big deal, it is a very useful practice. So what I am always doing is paying attention to what pleases me, what do I like and what do I not like, because that's the pathway, the breadcrumbs, if you will, toward what will show up in my paintings intentionally and where the juice lies for me. So by just allowing freedom and play on these very unassuming pieces of paper, I can just let loose and experience things using different mark making tools. You're seeing a lot of that in this video. I'm using scrapers, fork, wooden sticks, just lots of different things. And it's my opportunity to just, like I've already said a lot, play, but also notice. Notice what I like. Notice what's happening. Make a mental note or write down something that was really cool that I experienced. So that's the point of this. And it also just is fun. It feels good. There's no pressure. No one's commissioned me to do this. And I can just relax my nervous system and get into the flow of this. So I'll share with you that I grabbed a bunch of different colors that I like. And so, lots of blues and hot pink, red, yellows. And what I'm noticing at this point in the video is that I do see the value of a limited palette. I didn't do that to myself. I didn't limit, but there is a value of that, because what I found, one of the things I don't like is the amount of color chaos that I created for myself. So it's hard to land the eye anywhere. So that's why I came in with the white to just soften and obliterate some of the visual disturbance so that I could have more resting places. And then I wanted to bring in this magenta that's one of my favorite colors to use, but if I had done that over the other colors, it would have just been lost or a little bit much. So I wanted to make the white and then bring that in. And one of the really fun things about doing this kind of thing and layering is that then you can scrape through and find that history. You can bring it forward. So here I'm using some charcoal and I'm just drawing some some different pictures. So the first one I did a couple of owls because they're so cute and I love them, and I saw owl eyes, and here I'm doing owls on the third one because clearly I love owls. And the middle one, I just did some flower blooms. Again, just because, why not? I'm creating a history on the paper. This is exactly how I paint too. I don't get attached to anything. Nothing's held precious. Nothing is telling me like, oh, don't ever cover this up. Now, if I do get that experience where I find something that's going to lead the way for the rest of the piece, then sure, I'll preserve it. And now I'm coming over this with a matte medium so that I actually can keep those lines. And here's some ink to just play. I didn't like this actually. I don't use ink. I don't think I know how to use ink very well. I just really didn't like that experience very much. And in fact, I never really use them. I'm not using alcohol or anything. Perhaps I'm just not using them properly. Feel free to tell me in the comments what I should be doing with ink to make it worthwhile. And that's a high flow acrylic that I do like, which is not that different than ink, but it does behave a little bit differently. I really like using tissue paper to bring up paint that I've just put on and then apply it elsewhere, like mono printing. And that tissue paper I've been using for so long, it's going to be really cool one day with so many patterns on it. And then that was a little bit of bubble wrap. Who doesn't love bubble wrap pattern? I don't actually very much. I try to use it and it always is smeared and weird. I don't know. But this is just my playground. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have sessions like this where you really, truly let go and allow yourself the freedom to just play and try things. That truly is the way forward. If you don't try things, if you're not courageous to just do a thing that has no risk whatsoever, you'll never know what that could lead to. You have to do things. So these mini paintings are an excellent opportunity to do that. It helps you remember just what you love. So I am playing with building this history, lights and darks. I'm using a palette knife here to bring in some black, and then I scrape through everything. I love doing that. Scribbles and scrapes, just right now where I'm at in my practice, they just really float my boat. I love them. And I love creating kind of a messy, distressed look. I don't like the whole entire painting to look like that, but I like having differences. I like having crisp areas and then muted, blended, distressed looking areas. And then always the scrapes and the words and the scribbles. This is a phthalo turquoise that I really like. I like using it as a glaze or a wash. It's really beautiful. A piece of packing paper that I rolled up like a little rope. Just curious what that would do. Didn't love it. At the very least, these papers can turn into collage pieces that I can add into other paintings, or I can cut them up and have bookmarks, or they might even be really beautiful when they're done and I might frame them. I don't know, but it's not a waste of paper to do this, is my point. I think one of the key things in doing a practice like this, a playful creative practice, is to get used to allowing yourself to have an instant feeling of whether you like something or not like something, and trust that instead of having to overanalyze, why don't I like it? Why do I like it? Just accept that you do or you don't. And when you start building that muscle, if you will, that intuition, and you start trusting yourself, it will really carry over into your artwork as well as your life. This is a practice for life. This is a practice for how to live in a more peaceful way with yourself, actually. And that's how I see it. And the more that I practice on the paper, on the canvas, being free and trusting myself, trusting my voice without second guessing, which is that over analytical place, the more that I live in harmony with myself. It's more peaceful for me. And I'm not saying there isn't value in analyzing things and understanding why, but when you're trying to just play and enjoy and be free, letting go of that inner critic is really critical. Some final scribbles, and now the reveal. This is a juicy, fun part. Pulling off the tape to see what happened. It's kind of like magic. I actually think these are really beautiful. There's parts of them that I really like. And so after you do this, you want to take time with your pieces and let them speak to you. Just take time to see what you like. I'm pointing out to you some of my favorite parts of each piece, things that I really love. Things that I want to remember, things that excite me. I really hope that this was fun for you to watch and that you got some inspiration for your own playful, creative practice. It's so worth it. Take care of yourself and enjoy.